Oh, Mitakiyasan. Namaste, Sarve Mere Rishtadar. So, Sia. Osio, all my relatives. Sia. Sie. Anyway, Osio, all my relatives. So, actually, I'm going to shift gears here. Oh, Wonkin Tonkin. Great Spirit. It's a journal entry. So, I want to say thank you for the tarot cards these little cards that showed up. I'm assuming they're tarot cards. I was following the fire path, you could say, with the little fire stones, following Rashini, my little ball of light. And there's actually 5 of them. And it has made this, and I saw it very clearly, it's like a medicine wheel. The first one I found, oh, there's an eye right in the center of it, a card. It's the Pilgrim. I don't know if that's that's a 10. The X is a 10. There's an eye right in the center. So I was like, yeah, I'm a pilgrim. I'm a gypsy spirit. Gosh, John Lennon just came on. When Legend 2 in my music, it's playing in the background. Very grateful for that. Then the next card that showed up, the Eternal Child. Or was it the Underworld? I don't know, but the next 4 just kind of showed up. So there's the Eternal Child, and we've been talking a lot, the Morning Fire, about that inner joy. We're in that Aquarian. I was sharing that. This Aquarian energy, the otter energy. I need to turn that little animal astrology back on or make it public. Maybe. I'm still listening because it's formulating in the background. It's bubbling up through inside of me. I'm like, cool. Anyway, so treating Leia innocently and miss that magical, joyful experience of our inner child, or the eternal child, the eternal child that is just wants to live life in the moment. Just there's that allowing every moment to be magical and not really holding on to anything and just experiencing every emotion fully in the moment and anyway, and then and so for me, when I brought it back, it was like, that's the fire, just having that, just playing with life, that's what Creator is. Creator is playing with itself through each and every one of us. Let's keep it that vibe up, when we get down in the There needs to be that creative spark. That's what pulls us through. That's what gives us that desire to live and to, you know, even amongst a depression, even amongst all the chaos that may be taking place. And then the next card, well, I'll just go around the wheel. So that, for me, is the East. It's the fire, it's the sun, it's that passion. And then, depending upon, for myself, connection-wise, but I really love the South being the water, that flow of the day, that, you know, and what keeps us in that flow of the day is the remembering the dolphin and the whale and the orcas, you know, that swim in the ocean, and they remind us to connect with that breath of life. Exhaling and settling back in. And so that's usually when we begin to feel a little bit like an orphan, you know, where we feel a little bit separated, and we need to use our breath and use that flow to keep us connected with that flow. Use that breath to keep us connected with that flow, you know. And I wanted to transform us, because there may be many times where we may drop a belief in the middle of the day and pick up a new belief, because it's like, well, hey, I'm not connecting with that anymore. Stick with the flow and let it go, and pick up what is feeling right and good in the heart in that moment. Remembering we're never orphans. We are all part of that one beautiful breath of life. So then we move over into the West, which for me is the water. It can be water. That's in one of my traditions. But the one that I really, really connect with is the earth. The standing tall ones with the harvest of the day, and also that time of the darkness of going into the cave, going into that dream time. And sometimes if our days are really dark, we will feel like we're like, man, I just can't get out of the dark, you know? And it's that space of the underworld, going, kind of that underworld. Well, that's the card that landed over there, was this underworld. And that's what? 10 LV. I'll have to, I know X is 10 and V is 5, and there's a 3. Not sure what the L is. I'll have to go in and remember. Anyway, so the underworld, and the underworld feeds those trees, that place of the mushrooms, the fungi, that connects everything. Absolutely everything upon the earth. It's that little neurons. And you could think of it in a way, I know the mushrooms are really, really good, but particular ones, really, really good for helping the nervous system and helping to create new little neural pathways and make those connections in our brains, so that maybe our filters, what we're filtering from the one mind, might be a little bit different, which I've got this. Put a woman in charge. Yeah, let's remember to put Mother Nature back in charge. So then we move. That's a whole nother topic. We're not going to go into that one right here, right now. But then that moves us to the what I have over here in the north, which is the winds. That for some it's the color white, for some it's the color blue. But it's those northern winds, the time when the winds really blow, those cool, it takes us inside. Our homes, inside our teepees, inside our caves, and we have our fires lit, and we're listening to the stories, listening to the winds. It's a time of really going deeply, deeply inside. And interestingly enough, the card that came through is the siren. Got the ruby. Now, what I'm really connecting with is the white fin. Or it could be, well, it's a fin. But it has me thinking about the white animals. The siren. This is one for myself, and I find it interesting that it is a ruby or a garnet. Feels more like a ruby to me. That it does also have me thinking of the third eye. I'm going to continue to contemplate on that one, and I'm going to allow you to contemplate that one with your elders, your ancestors, the winds that are whispering in your ears. And because of the fin, it does have me thinking of a whale, which then brings me to the bison. And it also brings me to the elephant. Those are like the three mammoths. Of course, then you go to not the golden eagle, the Harper's eagle. I believe the Harper's eagle is the largest eagle. Which is also known as the wolf eagle. And for me, our ancestors beyond our ancestors have been the non-human animals. They were here before us. I know when I was in India, 95%, a majority of the temples, except for the fewer newer ones, but all of the really, really older ancient ones, I even had one of the elders pointed out to me and shared with me, as you notice, I said, I love how they've got all the animals here, and I was going around and kind of bowing to each one of them. It took me a while to get me some of the temples to make it all the way around. However, he shared with me, he says, that's because the animals were here first. They are our brothers and sisters, our older brothers and sisters, and they have taught us everything that we know. Now that was in India. And I know I've heard that from elders here in North America. And it really, really saddens me. And this is going to take me to the Ruby horse over there in India. And we are getting ready to move into the horse here, but it really, really saddens me. Not only what we're doing to each other, but what we have been doing to the non-human animals. And I know Mother Earth is just like, she's had enough. She needs to reset herself. She's getting ready to do that. She's waking us up in a big way pretty soon. And I know that we're all feeling it. And even if it's not something physical, though, we have a lot of disasters taking place, a lot of big, powerful storms, you know, like once in a generational lifetime storms. Reminding us what's true and real, and the non-human animals have been coming up to us, and they've been showing and demonstrating with us, you know, how to take care of each other. And like, you know, if an orangutan can help a crow out of a river, you know, and we're beginning to do that in bigger ways. And we're finally starting to give some of these animals their freedom. You know, we're outlawing a lot of these horrendous practices that are tradition. You know, well, that's what makes a cowboy a cowboy. Yeah, well, let's redefine cowboy. Let's redefine this. Let's redefine that, you know. Let's do it in an honorable and respectful way that not only gives us dignity, but it gives the animals dignity. It's not about the power over the animals. It's this mutual love and respect with each other. And so, you know, what we've done to the animals, my gosh, we are so clearly doing to each other. And so if we don't want our children taken away from us, then let's stop taking children away from the non-human animals. Let's give them the sunlight and the freedom to raise their children the way they wish to be raised, just like we do. And if they choose to give their life to us, for us to partake of their bodies, they volunteer. That's not forced upon them in slavery. We don't want that anymore. So let's not do it with them anymore. And when we can give all the animals their freedom, I know in many respects I've been told, you know, we're not even doing this with each other yet. How can we begin to do this with the non-human animals? Well, maybe if we stop, drop, and roll, and remember Mother Earth is our home, and we need to honor and respect each other. Let's honor and respect. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. And I'm not going to claim to know what the answers are. But I do know what really resonates in my heart is I will be here until no animal no longer suffers. And I've heard that from Kuan Yin, and I've heard that from many others, that and the reset is on its way. And so that is my prayer, that is my hope, that is my knowing that each and every one of us remembers. And so not only caring for and giving freedom to our neighbors, but all of our neighbors, all of our people, all of our relatives. I have a big dream, you could say. And I see it, and I feel it in my heart. I felt it as a little girl. I knew it as a little girl. It got shamed and beaten out of me, but that eternal child, I know we can do it again. I know. It's a reality. It just hasn't demonstrated yet. But it's on its way. Okay, so, wow, I didn't know that this is where I was going with this when I turned this on. And the big thing that gives me hope is seeing the white animals and all of the different species beginning to show themselves. And I will say that that is one thing that I am grateful for in this patriarchal colonial age that we are bringing to a close, so to speak, because we're moving into the warrior era. But finding that gratitude for this era that I'm grateful that we have the technology and the ability to share all of these white animal sightings that keep surfacing. We just had one recently, moose, and a real white one. It was not an albino. It had the dark eyes and the prophecy around that one. And we've had the white ravens, we've had the white whale, we had white dolphin, we've had white squirrel, white spider, white deer, there were a couple of other birds, white birds, and then just, the white bobcat, or lynx, the white lynx. So, they're making themselves known. Oh, there was the white eagle and the white red-tailed hawk. Oh, yeah. And the synchronistic, perfect moments that they show up. I mean, it's the kind of thing that you just can't make up. The white aurora. Yeah. There's just certain things you can't make up. And can be in nobody's control. Except for the one that we are all a part of. So may we listen, truly listen, to that sovereign, playful altar within inside our heart that has that love for its community and plays its part with ease, joy, and grace.